here's what we will need. So we have a box of different accords. It is a mess. It's been a while. What I need to make this work is a bunch of accords, a couple paper strips for testing, and a pen, so you know what is what. What you're seeing here is my catalog of accords that I just showed you on the computer, but in the bottles. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pick a few of these accords that we like the smell of and think might go together. This step will be easier if you have a large catalog of accords or if you have a clear idea for what you want. Now I don't really have a specific idea, I just want something that smells good, and we'll see what we get from this. For example, I know I really like the modern cedarwood accord. It feels really masculine, and this time I'm going for a masculine smell. Maybe in the next series we're gonna try a more feminine, but now we're gonna go with the masculine, and I'm gonna take the ones that I will use here. Okay, we have the super sandalwood. I may want to use amber again. We'll see. Russian leather, not this time. Coca-Cola might be interesting with a cedar, but maybe not this time. Now we have some others, something blue. Classic rose. Rose and cedar might work. We'll see. Mountain air. This is a mountain air accord from the PAX Instagram Fougere. Don't remember if this was the good one or not, because I have two Fougeres. Here we have incense. No. So it seems like I'm going for a more lighter accord. We're going to take Grosjean also here. Grosjean is a good accord because it can be used as a base, a very projective base. Maybe we can try a little bit of apple here. This is amber number 2, did not like that. Green tea, not this time. Maybe pineapple. Tuberose, I forgot what it smells like. In fact, this is not bad. It reminds me of the jasmine, but well, we'll see. Maybe a slight touch of that. No, that's not what we want. It's not even an accord. White musk. Let's see what this smells like. Well, depending on which base and what we're going to use, maybe amber or white musk. The Grosjean, we'll see. What I'm doing now is I'm just smelling my accords and picking out what I want for this perfume that I'm making, what I want it to smell like. I'm putting away the ones I don't really want this time, and I'm picking out the ones that I do. Tobacco accord. I kind of want to use this one. I'm not saying I will use all this. This is just for now. We're gonna dip the blotters and then we'll see. Maybe you can try the Fougere. Orange bloom. I know that smells lovely. Smoky rose. Russian muguet. Alright. So I'm gonna put away the accords that I'm not gonna use here. And this is what we have. This is what we can play with this time. Now that I have some kind of direction where I'm going with this perfume, I'm thinking something light, something refreshing. From what I have, I can have some floral notes, maybe a tobacco, maybe some kind of Fougere. We'll see. So let's start, and we're gonna take out a few of these blotters, and let's see what we could combine. In my mind, I'm currently thinking which of these could I combine, which of these could smell interesting together. I'm thinking I want to dip the Fougere. I will try to dip the mountain air, the modern cedar, and tobacco, amber. I don't know. Maybe the Grosjean. There's no point in dipping this because it will make everything smell better anyway. The Grosjean I may dip in the end, but for the moment, okay. Fougere is kind of aromatic and bright. Mountain air is fresh. Modern cedar is woody. Tobacco is... I'm also thinking we should balance the top, mid, and base notes. I know that tobacco is kind of hard to base. The cedar is, again, hard to base, maybe mostly base. For the base, we would use either Grosjean or amber, I think. We could put in a little bit of the white musk, but we don't want to make it too base heavy because otherwise it won't project that well. Fougere would be kind of like a hard note, I think. So we don't have any top notes really. maybe mountain air, it has some top notes from what I know. We could try to combine all this with a bit of apple. Pineapple, maybe not this time. I don't want it to feel too tropical. And with all this, we might want a drop of florals. We can always add stray materials like, for example, if I want vanilla in there, I can add that. It doesn't mean that I have to only rely on accords. But the accords is the base that helps me figure out which direction we're going. I know I really like the orange blossom as a smell, so I will try that. Let's put these aside for now, and let me write some of this stuff. To be honest, we don't need to write because we can just smell them. I know what they are, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna write it. This we have to be careful with because the cedar, it has some notes that are really elusive. So we may have to start with other materials. Let's start by dipping the base materials because the top notes, they will go away, so we want to start with the bases first. Okay, let's start with the rose. It's best if you have an open window. You don't want to get blind to the smells. So we just dip a little bit of this and put it away. Fougere. I'm not smelling this immediately. I want to let the alcohol evaporate a little bit because some of these are diluted. But also, by putting them on the desk, I'm letting the smells come to me, and who knows, maybe I smell something and I really like it. I then know the direction in which to go in. Okay, now we're gonna take tobacco, just dipping some of these. Orange blossom is quite strong, I know. Maybe put 1 drop. Yeah, I already smell this. I'll put this further away. Okay, mountain air. You know what? I think we should start by smelling the bases first before dipping the others. I'll do the apple and cedar last. They're not done yet. Okay, so I have mountain air, I have tobacco, rose, and a fougere. And I also have the orange blossom. Now what I will do is just put them together. Let's say we take tobacco and orange blossom, put them together like this. I'm gonna smell and see if I like it or not, and take a mental note. These go together. I feel like they make each other feel more sour, or something more like more bread-like. Okay, I'm not sure if I want that. Let's see, fougere and orange blossom. What does this smell like? If you feel like one of them is too strong, you can put it back like this and just kind of move it around. It also helps you in real time think about what the balance of these might be like in the end. Let's try the rose and the mountain air. See what this is like. Okay, maybe the rose and the fougere. Not really. What about rose and tobacco? I kind of like this smell. What if we add also orange blossom? This smells interesting. Maybe not exactly what I want, but it's an interesting idea. It's like a flowery tobacco smell. Okay, I'm not sure about this. Let's dip the apple note. Let's add a bit of apple to this. Let's see what happens if we combine fougere with an apple. The apple is strong, so I'm gonna put it back. Yeah, the apple is very strong. Maybe combine it with the mountain air. I do like what this smells like. A bit of apple, the mountain air accord, and the fougere. If you use just a little bit of the apple, I think it might be good. What if we add a rose to this? Or what if we add the tobacco to this? I'm not seeing tobacco in this perfume. Not seeing that. Maybe the orange blossom. Okay. Currently I still have no idea. Let's try the amber. I want to try amber with the mountain air. I like that. What if we add apple to this as well? The apple is very strong. It's kind of hard to see if I want it in there or not. I also like this. The amber makes everything feel warmer. Let's dip the cedar. So I'm thinking we could combine maybe the cedar with tobacco. No. What about fougere? We could use cedar and a fougere. Add a little bit of amber for warmth. To give it some kind of grounding quality. And then use the mountain air as a top note. Something like that. I do like this. I do like this. It smells masculine. It smells like a fougere, but we're not just taking the fougere accord, we're also using amber and cedar and the mountain air accord. The amber really works in here because it makes everything feel like it has some kind of foundation to stand upon. What if we add the apple now? The apple does feel good. We might add just a drop of that to give it a fruity opening. You know what? Let's see what happens if we, instead of apple, if we use a pineapple. Because the pineapple is sweeter in a way. Okay. I feel like we're getting somewhere. Let's add a bit of that. And pineapple does work great in here. It adds a fruity top note, but it doesn't feel like shower cream or something like that. We could add just a drop of apple, but sometimes simplicity is better, so I think I'll skip the apple. Without pineapple, it feels rather herbal and almost medicinal, but the pineapple does fit well in here. It just works with the others. I think we should skip the orange blossom because it makes everything feel more feminine, and that's not the vibe for this perfume. It's a beautiful smell though. Yeah, okay, I'm sure this is the direction I'm going. The Grosjean, I am not sure. We will add Grosjean because it will help with projection, or maybe not. It's kind of hard to decide. On one hand, I like the smell, but on the other hand, I want this to feel more masculine. I want this to feel more fougere-ish and more fresh, and the Grosjean just takes that away, I feel like. So yes, we definitely want the fougere, we want the cedar, we want the amber, the mountain air, and some of the pineapple. Almost forgot. The champagne sparkle accord. I will also use that. Let's see what happens if we also add this. But we gotta act quick, because this will evaporate in a few minutes. Put everything together and do a little motion. It's a bit fresh at the moment, a bit too harsh, the balance. But it does work in here. I'm gonna use it. The white musk, I am not really sure. If I see that the perfume is not lasting too long, I will use white musk to help extend the base. But for now, I feel like we should be good, because we have cedar that is woody and it should last quite a while. We have a fougere, which on its own also lasts quite a while. We have the amber, which lasts quite a while. So these together would form the base. The cedar, the fougere, and the amber. Then the fougere is almost like a... Okay, let me organize it. So amber would be at the bottom. Cedar is above that because it doesn't last that long as amber. Then we would have fougere in the middle somewhere. And then we would have mountain air above that. Pineapple above that. And the champagne accord above that. This is what the structure would look like. It would start by opening up with the champagne accord. Where was it? It would open up with the champagne accord. Then, once the pepper and the bergamot fade off, maybe some of the pineapple would still be left. And then we would have the mountain air. Now these three, they're top notes, right? They would be smelled together, not separately like this. But I'm just saying, based on how long they would last, this is what I expect it to be. After that, we would have the fougere here, a fougere kind of heart, which goes into a woody cedar base. And the final things you would smell is the amber here. Looking at this structure, I feel like we might want to add a little bit to the heart because it feels a little empty. We might add the rose in the heart. We could add a little bit of rose in the heart. Otherwise, the longevity of this perfume might not be as well. It would start off well with the top notes and then the fougere, which maybe last not as long, and then it collapses into the base. So if we combine the rose and fougere, we're kind of extending the heart of this perfume. Let's see what they smell together. I'm sure they would work well together. But let me try what the fougere would smell like if we add just a touch of orange blossom. It makes everything feel sweeter, which I like for the heart. Maybe we can combine orange blossom with a rose and a fougere. But before I make my final decision, I also want to test the tuberose. Or tuberose, what is it called? I will just dip this and I will combine it with the fougere to kind of get an impression for what the heart might smell like. The orange blossom and the rose make the heart feel lighter. The tuberose makes the heart feel darker and heavier. It's almost as if the fougere suddenly exposed its dark side. Because this is supposed to feel like a fresh perfume, I don't think tuberose is the right direction. So I think I'm gonna go with the rose. We can always change this, it's not a problem. So we're gonna add rose and the fougere for the heart. We might add a white musk to the base if we wanted to extend it. So this is the end of the video. I feel like this is the direction I'm going in. Like I said, we start with a pineapple, then we have a fresh, rosy, fougere-ish heart, which then settles into a cedar amber base. At this point, I don't know what this will smell like when I actually blend it, but I have a rough idea for the balance. For example, I know I want to increase the cedar because it kind of gets lost amongst the other smells. I want to use just a little bit of the pineapple, not too much, because if I use too much, it's gonna smell just like a pineapple, at least the opening. But I want it to feel like the pineapple modifies the opening, doesn't define it. The champagne sparkle, we also have to be careful because we don't want it to smell like pepper when I first spray it. I would like to smell mostly mountain air and then just a little bit of pineapple and the sparkle. For the heart, I want more of the fougere than the rose. And like I said, for the base, I want more of the cedar than the amber. This is good. Let's try a quick... So let's say sparkle... Let's say we use 1 part of sparkle, 1 part of pineapple, 4 parts of mountain air. And how I'm getting these numbers is just my intuition for how strong they are relative to each other. Now for the rose, let's say we're gonna do 1 rose and 3 fougeres. Cedar, we want this to be quite strong, so let's say 6. And amber, maybe this could be like 3 parts. And if we add a musk, then that would be maybe 2 parts. This is a very rough draft. In the next video, we are going to formulate this and actually figure out what this should be like. But for now, this is the direction. If you have similar materials, you can try to dip them and smell what this could smell like. I also think I would add vanilla to this to sweeten it up and help with the longevity. So we also will add vanilla, or vanillin to be specific. We will add hedione, so that will help with the heart as well. Hedione here. We will add isoe super, and maybe we will add also ambrofix. But see, these are not defining the smell. These are more like functions. Vanillin will help with sweetness. Hedione will help with projection and the heart, and also with the blending of things. Isoe super will be a blender in this case. It will help everything feel like it's connecting. And the ambrofix is here for projection. We might add ambrosinide, we might add norlimbanol, or just something like that to help with the projection. But other than that, this is the direction. That's all I have for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we're going to formulate everything and turn it into an actual formula that we can recreate and blend. See you soon.